Good evening, everyone. To Tech Talk under the topic Introduction to Frameworks, organized by the Computer Society of the Department of Computer Science, University of Jaffna. So, first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to warmly welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Buddhika Priyabhashana, software engineer at WSO2. And then I warmly welcome the head of the Department of the Computer Science, Mr. Sudhakar, and all the lecturers from the Department of Computer Science and beloved students. So in this time, I would like to give a little introduction about our guest speaker, Mr. Buddhika Priyabhashana. He is graduated from the Department of Computing and Information Systems of the Sabaragamu University of Sri Lanka and holds BSc Special in Information Systems. Also, now he is following Master of Business Administration at the University of Sri Javadhanapura. And now he works as a software engineer at WSO2. With this little introduction, now I cordially invite our guest speaker to moderate this valuable session. So, Mr. Buddhika, now the spotlight is yours.
Thank you, Chamodi. Chili, thank you for your introduction. So good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thanks to the XCOM of Computer Society, University of Jaffna for inviting me to do this session. So I believe I'm clear and audible, right?
Yes, sir. You're audible, clearly.
Okay, thank you very much. So, and I can see a lot of participants, and thank you all for joining with me this evening, and lecturers as well. And it's glad to be you all with you this evening. So as I told, participants are from second years and third years. So when I prepared to the session, I didn't add deep techie stuff here because there are many things to know than techie things since you are a computer science students. So you have a lot to know other than technical stuff. So we'll talk about them during the session. So let me share the screen first. Okay, you can see the screen, right?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay, thank you very much. And the first thing, I like to have a good interaction from you during the session. So because you may have questions, clarifications, and concerns. So I'm here to help you. So please interact with me. And so there are two options that Zoom tool provides us. One is unmute option, one we barely used at our daily meetings, and other one is the chat. You can also share your question or anything in the chat as well. So you can use them to interact with the session. So I have very simple slide deck, so you will see it. So I want to keep this simple as much as possible because there should be a very short bridge between you and me, right? So not much hard thing. So let's see about them. So that's the beginning. So let's talk tech. So this is about me. As you all know, I'm Buddhika Priyabhashana, a software engineer at WSO2. I'm a part of digital transformation team at there. And I graduated from Sabaragamu University of Sri Lanka, and I'm a product of Department of Computing and Information Systems. And I followed Master of Business Administration, following Master of Business Administration degree at Postgraduate Institute of Management, Sri Javadhanapura University. And I'm a HackerDev ambassador that related to UNDP and also agent of influence, Ideamart, Dialogue Ideamart. And I'm founder of my own tech community, Tech Speakers Sri Lankan community. So we're just sharing techie stuffs here. And I'm a researcher, I'm a volunteer because I'm volunteering for so many communities. And I have around 5 research publications as a researcher. So I'm little bit, not a little bit, I'm interested in social psychology as well. It's a very interesting subject. So I suggest you to follow that. It would be a great support to you as well, I guess. Okay. So this is what we are going to talk today. It's a very simple outline. So first of all, I'd like to talk about where to do a project. So let's see how you can arrange those stuff before the project and how the things going on, what you should consider about the project that there. And then I have planned to do a small quiz with the Kahoot platform. And it would not much techy actually, it would be fun. So then I'll come to our main topic, going into frameworks and MERN stack. And also I'm conducting a demonstration as well. As a bonus, finally, I would like to give a small tip to achieve greatness. Okay, it's just a tip that I used to do, and I'm currently also I'm using that. So it's a very important thing. At the end of the presentation, I will give it to you as well. I'll share it with you as well. There is a little bit heavy rain around here. Sometimes my noise, background noise will increase. So I guess, but you can hear me still. Okay, let's move forward. Projects. So I know that you all are doing projects. As I was told, you are preparing for project and doing project these days as well, the third years. And this is important to second years as well, because once you are going to the industry, so they crazily follow about your project. So once you are facing the interviews, so they basically ask so many technical questions related to your project you have already done. Because of that, your project and your contribution, group project, individual project, this is so important. And it could be a turning point in future as well. Okay, so in here, I need to hear your voice. And can anyone share what kind of projects are you doing? I just need project titles. Please unmute yourself and say it. What are the project titles? Just need to know about your project title here. So can you share it with us? Anyone? And need to say, if there are any opportunity to have, please take it, because once you are accepting challenges, you become a star one day. Okay, so through the challenges, you can win anything you want. So I'm just asking, please share some titles with me, project titles that you are currently doing or whatever it is. Yes, that is coming. It's platform for the order the medicine via online. Great, great, great. And anything else? At least 3 responses. Hello? Okay, another one is coming. Based on agriculture, we are making a mobile app. Okay. One more thing, please. Online ticket booking app. Okay, okay, great, great, great. Okay, now coming with responses. As direct messages as well, school management systems. That's great, that's great. I think you have an idea what the project is, right? Can anyone say I'm audible? Because that is a heavy rain actually.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, but don't worry, sir. You are audible clearly.
Okay, then thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, now Pavitra have sent share with us agriculture mobile application assistant to farmers to calculate amount per person. Okay, with the description. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your effort and sorry, your support. I like to interact with you all because I'm a cool person. I'm not saying you. There are no right and wrong answers. There are only right answers. Okay, whatever you have shared with me, it's a correct answer. Whatever thing happens, no worries to share your thoughts. Okay, I'll talk about it during my presentation actually. Okay, so I believe you have some basic understanding about the project. I'm trying to convince this because this is the very important thing related to your career as well, because you all are science students, so you have to do projects. And one day, sometimes when you go up to the corporate ladder, you have to manage projects as well. So because basic understanding is really necessary at this moment. Okay, it is very easy to develop from the scratch. Okay, this is a great opportunity that, especially for second years, if they haven't started mini project, or find some projects. So this would be a great outcome to that as well. Okay, I'm moving forward. So project is to hit the aim, right? So I'll spell what I have stated here. An individual or collaborative enterprise that is carefully planned. Okay, concentrate of these two words, carefully planned, to achieve a particular aim. Okay, so each and every project should have an aim, an outcome, specific outcome. You should address a specific problem. Okay, and also I'll say it like this. Okay, I'll go to your chat. There is a school management system. So their aims could be so managing the operation inside the school, like attendance marking, exam handling, registration, like that thing. Okay, likewise, so you should have a specific aim. And but the thing is, most of current students are basically university students are not focusing on the aim. They want whatever things are doing, and if they have to show something, this is their project. Okay, it's not work. It's not. It will be work for your curriculum and to get some kind of get your degree, but it's not working the industry, because once you face in the interviews, they keep asking questions related to the project, because that is the main point. They can get idea about yourself and what you have done so far. And with the 2-3 minutes, they will definitely get you if you are doing a project with your own abilities. So with a good care, they will definitely click it within 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, that's why you should. That's why undergraduate projects are very important. So you have to do projects, and definitely you should do projects, so you can use that to show yourself. So once you are doing the project, please do it very hardly and approach every aspect. Do not after submitting the proposal, do not wait till the last month to start the project. Okay, so okay, let's move forward. I'll talk about it later. But the thing is, what is the most important thing of the project? Okay, so once it comes, when we are talking about the project, there are so many things that we have to consider, right? So I'm not actually. I like to hear your answer. So raise your voice, use the chat. What is the most important thing that related to the project, as you think? Never mind whatever answer. There are no wrong answers. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm again asking, what is the most important thing of the project? I can't see chat yet. I can't hear your voice yet. Please. Okay. Secure database. Yeah. Big requirements. Yeah. Collaboration and knowledge sharing among friends. Yes. Great, great, great. And functionality requirement, we have answered. Solution for real world problem. Yes. These all are a part of the project. But I need to mention there is a specific and most important thing that related to the project. If you are able to configure these things that now I'm going to tell, action, plan and time. Okay, can be accepted. And this is the thing that I'm going to tell is the most important thing. And if you address this correctly in your project definitely will be successful. Okay, because everything is packed with this one word that I'm going to say. Okay, there is one set answer. Let's see. Yes, yes. Iomi. Big round of applause to Iomi. Cisco. Okay. Thank you, Iomi. Thank you very much. And all who have answered. So you have taken the opportunity. So no need to worry about that. So the most important thing is scope. Okay. As I read out the point, project scope is the detailed outline of the project, and you should be mindful when defining the project scope. Okay, so I'll go back to this word, carefully plan. So you should address the scope once you are in the beginning of the from the beginning of the project. So that's the way to the success. Okay, so it's worth to spend more time on defining the scope, because I'm not going to say exact the percentage, but above 50% is the project is depending on your scope, because success of the project is depending on your scope, right? You get my point, right? Because you most of you are, if it is your mini project or final year project, you should submit a project proposal, right? So you will have a supervisor, internal supervisor, external supervisor, and also sometimes you will get technical support from outsiders, industry person, industry expertise. And with all that, it means you are creating your proposal. It is the hardest part of your project, because technology is not a matter. So I'll talk about it later part of my presentation. Technology is no need to care about technology. So once you are defining the project, once you are plan to start a project, you should have a clear aim, and you should have a clear scope to achieve the aim. Okay, if you fail to do this, your entire project will be failed. I can guarantee. Okay, so there are so many definitions that related to the scope, and so many YouTube tutorials how you can find the scope, how you can finalize the scope, and what are the things you should consider. So you please find them before starting the project, because it's not too late, because you all are undergraduates. But once in when you are joined to the company, so once they are giving you the responsibility to manage the project, definitely you should be aware about this, because this is as a starting point. So please take this as very seriously. Okay, so there was another answer called requirement. Yeah, requirement gathering is the next important part of the project. Okay, so your scope is depend on requirement gathering. But you can see here, I know that you may see in this image. So once the client explaining their requirements, so most of the clients are not persons, right? They do not have any idea about the technical feasibility about the project. We are the techie people, so we should know about the how feasible, what is the feasibility, and what should we consider about the factors that they are, what are the extract points, what are the important things that client explaining. So this skill should master. Okay, you should master that skill, because it's a it's a very important thing, because I want to convince it to you, because all are depending on the requirement gathering. So finalizing the scope, you should have requirements. So once you gather requirements, so there are ways to gather requirements. I'll explain it as well. So once you get in the requirement, those should be documented. Definitely you should do it, because it's for your own safety as well, because once the client explaining your I'm talking about the client means in the industrial perspective, but in your perspective inside the university, it's not much that, because you most of the time you are the project owner and you know all the requirements but you should validate it, right? So the most common scenario is you are getting a client is meeting you and say all the things that they want. They want the masterpiece, that the best one in the world. So they explaining what they want as they can, and you should document it. Okay, so there is a document called final requirement specification. So all the requirements are in here. What are the initial requirements? What are the updated requirements? What you have changed in past? And those things are included in that document. Once you are doing this, it could be really support to prepare your proposal as well as your final project report as well. And also you should keep the transparency. Okay, via the documentation, you definitely can achieve transparency. So once you get in the requirement, you should validate it from the project owner and also from the person who have expertise in this area. And also prototyping also a very reliable method to gather requirements, because as I said before, most of the clients are not techie people. So they can get an idea when you show something. So gather initial requirements that they are providing and create a small prototype. You know what prototype is, right? It's a not a full prototype, not including full functionality. And they just included main features and creating something that can be presented, and then client is able to look at your process by the prototyping, and they can give a very good feedback. And sometimes they didn't even teach that approach once they are giving the requirement. Okay, so then talk to right stakeholders. So it's like this. This is also most important thing, because if you are a guy who responsible for the project, once you getting the requirements from the client, so you should go to exact person that you want to fine tuning your requirements, right? Let's assume so. Okay, power is coming and going. Okay, let me whenever important thing is happening, it's always happening things like. Okay, let me have 1 second. Still, you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yeah, actually, that's why I take the backup. Okay, give me 1 minute to connect to my other monitor. Okay, okay. Still, you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the thing. So if you have to go with the technology, this stuff is also happening all the time. So okay, no worries. You can see. Okay, I'll share the screen. Okay. Sorry about that. You can see the screen, right?
Yes, sir. We can see.
Okay, then we are at the point talk to right stakeholder. So once you get in the requirement from the client, so you may have to clarify those things from the expertise. Sometimes, so let's assume you are creating a finance related application. So the one project manager is come to you from that company as a client. So they hand over the project to you and ask this system, whatever management system, so finance management system, and you should go to the finance department, their finance department. You should not rely just with the what client say. And the next point is confirm, confirm, confirm. So this is the next most important thing. So you should always mind about that. So this is your self-defense actually. So if they are rapidly changing the requirement, so you can show the documents that you have already completed. Okay, let's move forward. So this is design thinking process. I think you may have heard this thing. So design thinking process means, so this is, we are basically used to fine-tuning our project. So address the exact problem and develop the best solution for that. Design thinking process is basically used for social and entrepreneurship projects. Since it is a what is called research project, this approach is not working because you have to do a lot of things that relate to the research than simply requirement gathering. Okay, so there are 5 stages that related to the design thinking process. So these here you can see them. So first one is empathizing, then defining, ideating, prototyping, and also testing. So you can see this is not a linear process. Okay, so you can go here and there. Okay, so once you define it, okay, I'll explain it first. Emphasizing is understanding human needs involved. So you should, this is the point that you are getting initial requirement. Okay, empathy is the term. So empathy is not the sympathy. Okay, empathy is the different thing. So you should be feel what the exact problem, and then the next point is defining, and defining is reframing and defining the problem in human centric way. So once you get the initial requirements, so you should define those, and you should add more what are the connected parts to that. So let's assume the same finance system. So sometimes client may not ask about the secure login. Okay, so they just asking the finance system that they want, but you should have an understanding to add the secure login because it is the most important thing. Security is the most important thing here. And next thing is ideating. Ideating is also creating many ideas in ideation session. So once you get the initial requirements, you continuously go into the expertise and take the takes the best from them, what they exactly wanted. You should clarify about it. And also the prototyping, I talked about the prototyping before. And the next thing is testing. So testing is really important because there are so many gray holes in your application and wormholes in your application. So in current days, security is really important. Okay, so I am planning to touch that as well. Let's see with the time we have. So this is the design thinking process. This is just for side note actually. If you can apply this, you are getting the really good approach from your project. So this is the most important part you all should aware. So people constraint for the software project. So here you can see time, cost, and quality. Those are the people constraint. And once you are defining the scope, you should be aware about it, and you should be within these boundaries, and you should have to maintain the balance between those three constraints. Okay, so triple constraint, we definitely should consider about this, because deliver a quality product and keeping the cost within the client's budget, because in your case there may not be the budgets for your individual budget or group budget or whatever thing, but in the industry they should definitely about the cost as well, because once we allocate so many resources, it means it's a costly thing. So we should have an idea to have a better understanding to maintain those things. So then deliver a product as the schedule, and it's related to the time. So if you have failed to manage the balance between these three, your project will be like this. Initially, you put all the effort, you put all the time. So once after you submit in the project proposal, you are taking the user interface by taking 2 or 3 months. So then there is no point to there is no time to develop the other backend functionalities and like that thing. So once the deadline is reached, so you have to submit with the minimum functionality that than the exact requirements. Okay, so that's why you should definitely aware about those three constraints, right? Then this is also very important, because as you are undergraduates, so most of them do not aware about this thing. Okay, what you can do is doesn't matter. Okay, so I'll explain it with an example. Let's see, this is what you can do. Okay, lighting a LED bulb with 3 batteries and couple of wires. So you can do that, but you cannot rely on that, right? Because once you are doing a project, lot of requirements. So those requirements may not fit with what you have already known. So simple thing, no? And client expectation, as I said before, all the clients require best output from you, right? They need world best systems. Okay, there are a lot of requirements and also considerations. So there are so many considerations. User interface, user experience considerations is one most important thing, and the security concerns, and also some the performance and functionalities likewise. So that's why you cannot rely on what you already know. So you should explore your knowledge and to fit to the basic requirements that client giving to you. So if you don't know something to do, so you should search them. You should have a way to find them, right? So if the client expecting from you a traffic light system like this, you cannot say I know light in the LED bulb with 3 batteries, but I cannot uh, create a traffic light system. It's out of my scope. So you cannot do that. So that's why explore your knowledge. So find new knowledges that will be required to you, not only the technological things. Okay, so there are so many considerations than the technological things. I'm saying again and again, because most of the students are thinking if we are master of Java, we can survive in the industry. We can get our degree easier. We can survive in the industry as well. It's a really wrong. Okay, technology runs a very small part that relates to your career. Okay, outcome is matter. Okay, so what you already know is not a matter. Outcome is matter. So I'm saying this with I have seen lot of projects that undergraduates are doing. So those are let's see what it called deep neural networks, machine learning. Okay, like that. So yeah, deep neural network, machine learning, and artificial intelligence like that. But they are creating the, like, as an example, they are creating object detection applications. So why we need object detection application? So in here first picture, you can see there is a labeled dog, there is a labeled bicycle, there is a labeled car. We already know them. So we do not, it cannot be taken as a project because there is no outcome. It already known things are there. So we all know there are so many vehicles inside the traffic. But the thing is, convert your knowledge. So if this is the thing that you already know to create object detection application, then you should think about far beyond. Okay, so what can be applied those kind of things like this? So Hawkeye technology, we're using it these days. Also the T20 World Cup is happening. I'm also the big also a big cricket fan. So Hawkeye technology is basically it's object detection. That's the application. That should be the project, not the object detection. Object detection application is the project. So you should add values to that. Okay, in first this image you can see the body movement tracker of the football player. So with that body movements, they are predicting something, right? So here you can see parameters and things, and they are predicting something. What are the movements that they are going to take within next 5 minutes? So how fast they can run or something. There are so many considerations in the SOC as well. So this should be the application. So outcome is the matter. This is the outcome. This is not out. This cannot be considered as outcome. I mean the left part. It's just a application or whatever. Yeah, because I'm again and again saying this. Most of the project that's why most of the project actually fail. So most of them are rejecting from the proposal stage. Okay, they are not considering about the project scope clearly, and then some projects are rejecting or getting lower marks in the final presentation. So these are the things that we do not much consider, right? That's why I keep saying those. Why project fails? $1 million question. There are some points that I mentioned here. So rapidly changing requirements. So once the client giving requirement, changing requirement very rapidly, so your project will definitely fail. Okay, you cannot do that. That's why you should finalize the scope, getting the requirement, and according to that finalize the scope, and check with them with the physical constraints, and keep it up. So if you have to face the rapidly changing requirements, so you can simply use relevant methodologies such as agile. Agile is created for continuous development, and yeah, CI/CD for the CI/CD, continuous improvement and continuous delivery. Okay, so unrealistic project goals. This is related to the first point that I mentioned. Project should have a specific aim. Okay, you should set that aim. It should be realistic. You get my point, right? You cannot do a project to go to the moon for your mini project. It's unrealistic. And you can define a realistic goal by clearly defining the scope. So once you define in the scope, you will get an understanding this is going to be a success or a fail. And inaccurate resource management. This is basically for the project managers, but not only project managers. If you are a part of a team developer in the project team, so I'm actually saying this in the industry perspective, right? Doing a mini project or doing a final year project, not a matter. So you can do that. It's simple. You can get support from anyone, but in the industry you cannot do that. You only have you and your team. So if you feel something went wrong, it is also should be considered. So follow standards. Simply follow. Once you follow standards, so you can avoid inaccurate resource management and also unmanaged risks. You can QA the application. Quality assurance is really important part is in today, because uh, there can be so many vulnerabilities and there can be so many issues. Even if you are tech expertise, there can be some mistakes and poor documentation. As I said before, documentation is a very important thing. So it would be help you to keep your track in a specific way, in a line. So you can improve transparency as well by by doing the proper documentation. Okay, so if not, you will be like that definitely. Even in your project day that you are going to project proposal presentation, and if not, it's in your final year project presentation. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, now let's see how can do a project very successfully. Okay, there are some very small points. There are so many things other than that. It's depend on you. And prepare a best team if it is a group project, because team and you know the difference between group and team. Team means team should have synergy. Synergy means synchronized energy. Each and every member should participate. Each and every member should contribute. Okay, so let's take our cricket team as an example. So we do not say cricket group, right? It's a cricket team, because each and every player is important. So they should equally contribute to achieve the winning. So win the match, right? So your team is really important here. So prepare a best team, have a best team, and set realistic expectations. Okay, set realistic goals basically. Effective time management is part of a people constraint, and active communication. Active communication, daily stand-up, it's a part of agile methodology. I believe some of you may have heard about agile methodology. It's a part of that. Daily stand-up means every day we are having a small meeting. We should all stand up, actually. As it said, we should stand up from our chairs, and it will maximum take 8 minutes or 5 minutes, like that. And we are sharing what we have done so far. Okay, what we did yesterday, and what I'm doing right now, and what I'm going to do after that, right? And also blockers that you are facing. This is how you can communicate your issues with other team members, and they can give a clear update about you through this process. Okay, maintain good documentation, already talked about that. Manage risk related to the security part and QA part. And resource management, not only a human resource, other resources as well. And time to time evaluation, this is more important. Okay, this is end of the part 1. We talked about the project. I believe we have, you do not remember those. Okay, we talked about the project, what the project is, the purpose of the project, why we are doing the project, and what should the main parts that you should consider when doing the project, and the project scope, and the requirement gathering should kind of requirement gathering we can perform, and design thinking and people constraints. We talked about that, and it's really important even to you as well, not only for the industry guys. So can do was should do. We talked about that, reasons to fail project, and it's the success of the project. Okay, This is the play type, right? Here, I'm going to play a Kahoot, or some of you may have already played. So let's play a Kahoot. Give me one sec. Okay. Okay. Please go to the go to the www.kahoot.it. But I'm sorry, it's only allowed 10 participants because I did not purchase that. It's a limited free version. They only allow 10 participants here. So go to that, and I'll I'll display the it will be asking a game pin, so I'll display it in the short while. And also it asks a nickname. Please enter your good name to that, and yeah, and enter to the game. This is about fastest fingers first. So first come first serve. So get ready. www.kahoot.it. It's just asking 9 simple MCQs just for fun, not serious questions are there. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to show the game pin. Get ready. So this is the game pin. 7198518. Enter that as fast you can. Yeah, we have IO. Eranga, Arctic, I cannot read that name. Priyabhashana, John at nice. Pavi, Vinod. Oh, it's allow me to add more than 10. Great. Bonus. Okay, we have 14 participants here. Okay, can anyone join to that session? Oh, there are more. It's really a bonus. We have 20 participants. Super. Okay. You may hearing music as well, right? Okay. So I'm going to start the game. So others do not have entered to the game, please take a piece of paper, and once I ask a question, so mark the correct question. It would be A, B, C, D. So mark the correct answer, and you can also participate to the game as well. So if anyone is trying to join the game, so we have 24 now. We have 24, 25. Okay, let's start the game. It's simple, just simple questions. So first question you can, it's for just testing. It's a test question, first question, not a proper question. So I'm going to start the game, and you can answer. You can see in your display as well. Okay, let's start it. Great. 3, 2, 1. We are going to begin. Test question. This is test question. You can mark the any question. So you can see here the countdown, and before it's reached the 0, you should answer. And answer 1 is the correct answer for this question. Okay, no worries. This is for this not adding points. And next question. Okay, so all are 0. Great. True or false? Group thinking is a good thing when you work as a team. True or false? Just very simple. Okay, 8 seconds. Okay, all have. Okay, there is something to discuss. Group thinking is a good thing when you work as a team. Is it? No, right? It's not, because I know that you don't know exact meaning of group thinking. Can be because I put that questions to share some of the important things. Okay, so there is one video, 1-minute video, so you will be understand what the group thinking is. This group thing is coming with the result of research from the Solomon Asch. He's a social psychologist, and he have done research related to the how we behave in the team. Okay, so this is this is very important. Sorry for that. This is very important to all of you, because definitely I know that you all are working with the team. So I'll share the video first. Let's see. So you can see my screen, right? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, great. Let's see the video. Okay, I'm not going to tell much about that. You can understand. You will be understand.
But an experiment is not a public opinion poll. It examines behavior under the pressure of social forces, as the experiment of Solomon Asch reveals.
The experiment you'll be taking part in today involves the perception of lengths of lines. As you can see here, I have a number of cards.
Okay, basically I'm explaining a little bit. So he's saying that they are going to research about the link between the lines like that, but it's not the main objective. And in the research team, okay.
And on each card there are several lines. Your task is a very simple one. You're to look at the line on the left and determine which of the 3 lines on the right is equal to it in length. All right, we'll proceed.
Okay, this video also telling, so these 4 are not actual participants. Only this man is the subject to this research. Let's see how his behavior according to the questions.
Order. You'll give your answer.
Only one of the people in the group is a real subject, the 5th person with the white t-shirt. The others are confederates of the experimenter and have been told to give wrong answers on some of the trials. The experiment begins uneventfully as subjects give their judgments.
2, 2, 2, 2,
2, 3, 3, 3, 3.
But on the 3rd trial,
So I want your answers. So this line, what is the match with this line? 1 or 2 or 3? Share it with me with chat. This is equal to 1 or 2 or 3. Great. You all are saying it's 1. Let's see.
nothing happens.
2, 2.
Can you hear? All the participants, apart from the subject, they are saying 2, right? Let's see what's happening.
2,
2, 2.
The subject denies the evidence of his own eyes and yields to group influence.
1.
Asch found subjects went along with the group on 37% of the critical trials. But he found through interviews that they went along with the group for different reasons.
1.
1.
They must be right. There are 4 of them and 1 of me.
1.
This subject's yielding is based on a distortion of his judgment. He genuinely believes that the group is correct.
How about that? So this is the group thing. Okay, this is exactly saying it's a conformity. So this video is on YouTube. You can see that. You can watch that on YouTube. So this is the group thinking. So even if you know the correct answer, you are not going to embarrass your team members. Not just embarrassing, but you are not going to go against your team members. So this is group thinking. It's a very bad thing inside the group. If you are sometimes you may know the exact answer, but you are keep quiet because you don't want to be highlighted in your team, right? So group thinking is not a good thing. Okay, next one. Yes, we have Alan, or whatever. Sorry if I am pronouncing wrong way. Next question is also true or false. Social offers are important to the project team. What do you mean? Social offers are important to the project team. Need your answers. Great. I know you do not know the meaning of social offers, right? I think that's the reason for that. Social offers are freewheelers, okay, footboarders. So they are doing nothing to the group but stay in the group because they also can get the credit from the group. So that's the social offers. Okay. So we have 5 correct answers. Actually, this is just for your knowledge. Okay, I'm just sharing this. I choose this way to share that with you. That's it. This would be very funny, right? Again, we have. Can you pronounce this name for me? Anyone? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can you pronounce this name?
Alone.
Alone.
Yeah.
Am I correct? Okay. That's what I wanted to know. Okay. Thanks. Alone in the top for now. Okay. React.js is it a framework? Is it a library? You have 5 more seconds to answer. Time's up. 10 are saying it's a library, 16 are saying it's a framework. React.js is a framework, okay? Basically, it's the sorry. React.js is a library. What happened to me? React.js is a library. But most of them are used to say it's a framework, but do not much difference. But it's a library, just for your knowledge, okay? Okay, Eno came to the top. We have new winner up to now. 5th section, React Native is it library or framework? What do you mean? Time's up. It's a framework. Yeah, great. Majority of us saying it's a framework. It's a framework. We have Eno holding the top. Next one, MongoDB is. We have 15 more seconds. Actually, MongoDB is not a relational database, but MongoDBs use the binary JSON format. We call it BSON. Okay, great. I love your active participation. Great, really great. Dilendra came to second. Ino is holding the first still. Select wrong statement about Node.js. Five more seconds. Oh, sorry, 5 more seconds. Great. Majority is correct. It's not only running on Linux platform. You can install it to your own laptop as well, even if it's a Windows or Mac or whatever. Great, great, great. Let's see. Okay, we have a new winner up now. Ahmed Anik. Select wrong statement. Five more seconds to go. Okay, there is something to talk. REST permits JSON data format only. It's not the correct answer because REST permits JSON and XML as well. Okay, let's see. Again, Eno came to first. Wrong statement about MVC. Wow, great. Okay, what C stands for? Controller. Model, view, and controller. We have a new winner, Damien. Oh, sorry, Damien. Let's see. The last question. Axios used to make HTTP requests to external resources. Okay, so it's true. So we'll see that in demo. Let's see who the winner is. Damien came third, Dilendra came to second, and the winner is Jean. Okay, one the final. Okay, great. I love your contribution. Actually, if there is how the light, I was about to dance, so you missed that chance. Great. Thank you all who participated in the game, and I think others also have marked the answers. Okay, let me share the screen again. Okay, here we are. So there are a lot of ways to learn new things, right? Then put your legs into the water and spending whole night. So there are so many ways to apply to gather knowledge. Great. Now we have come to the third part of the session. Still, I want to say, I also said before, programming language doesn't matter because there are so many reasons that, okay? There are so many choices. Simply, there are so many choices. If let's assume if you are mastering PHP. Is it worth? Most of the industry today do not use PHP. Instead of very old systems, they do not use PHP. Technologies are rapidly changing. Think you are mastering in, you are real mastering Angular 1. How about now? Totally different, right? The current Angular version with the Angular 1. So do not rely on that. So there are so many choices. So do not need to focus on the specific language. But there is an important thing. I do not say don't follow any programming language. You should follow basics. Okay, you should definitely follow basics. Everything is depending on the basics. Once you are facing an interview related to your job interviews, so they do not test your coding ability. They are testing your adaptability. So how fast you can migrate one technology to another. So you can go to our company career page, WSO2 career page. They do not specify some departments, for some business units. So they do not specify one language. They are asking the proficiency in one language, but they do not consider it much. They are testing you while their interviews are happening, your adaptability, how up to which level you know the basics. This is the thing that they are evaluating. So thousands of tutorials, you can simply, I also doing the same. So if I want to learn new technology, I read the documentation, and then there are so many genius guys, the YouTube tutorials, Indian YouTube tutorial persons and Indian YouTubers. So they are really explaining me really good way. So there are thousands of tutorials. So if you spend one and 2 days with this tutorial, you can be mastering that language. So community support in current time, there is huge community support. So respective, so we have there are specific communities to the respective technologies as well, and also there are Stack Overflow. So simply create an account. So you should try this. Definitely, you should try this. Simply create an post a question that you have faced. So a lot of people will answer that. And easy installation. No need to worry about that. Just download and install, or install via terminal. Customized approaches. You are getting so many support things that the programming languages, frameworks, libraries, and packages. So very easily you can integrate those with your application, and many more. So you don't need to worry about programming language. So factors to consider when selecting a programming language. Okay, target platform, whether you are doing the cloud related thing or just the operating system requirements, like the target platform. And expected features of application, DB connectivity, and if you are willing to do a machine learning related technology, you do not, you should not select the React.js. That's a very simple thing. And language domain type, and your programming language and your project domain should be equal, as I said before. And the performance, according to your preference, you should go to the better option. There are so many options. If you want support to select one, so there are so many guys out there. And tool support and adaptability, usability, very simple things. Let's see. Wait a minute. Okay, we have spent 1 hour. This is about JavaScript. I guess you all are interested about that. That's why you have asked me to do the MERN stack. So this is about JavaScript. Now in 2009, it's just JavaScript, but in 2019, you can see it has the technological world. Everywhere JavaScript. Okay. So it's object-oriented, dynamic. I'm not going to explain much about them. Functional, structured, lot of libraries, no compiler necessary. You already know about them. And for the second years, just have a note and just follow some tutorials. There are some tutorials for the beginners as well. And start, do not just watch the tutorials, do something with the knowledge that you are getting from the tutorials. It's the best way to improve your skills, programming skills. Okay. Frameworks. Software frameworks make life easier for developers by allowing them to take control of the entire software development process or most of it from a single platform. Frameworks, you do not have much control, but you can integrate specified features with the frameworks and focus on high level functionality of the application. You do not want to develop that from the scratch. There are syntaxes that you just need to import the libraries and use them, and you just need to code the syntaxes. They are doing their part from the behind of the screen. Okay. And use of better programming practices. So they are showing the errors as well. If we if we are using a proper IDE, we can see the errors as well. Those all are integrated with the frameworks current days. Not only frameworks, actually libraries as well. Duplicate and redundant code can be avoided. So they are allowed to allow us to have many approaches that related to that. I'm not going to stick much with these things. Testing and debugging is very easy. Already know about that. So this is the difference between framework and library. Okay. So library means building a house from the scratch. You have full control. You can decide the which foundation should be like what. Okay. You can define how many rooms are there, how many living rooms, which should you place the living room, like that. And you can build your own rules there. No need to worry about that. That's the importance of library. And once it comes to the framework, it's like buy a new house. Okay, no need to care about the building problems, but your control is less. Okay, so you have to accept what it provides. So if they do not provide the auth support, authentication, separate authentication support, you do not have to do anything. You haven't anything to do. So you should consider those things as well once you are selecting a technology, as I said before. Okay, allow you to plug your code as needed. Just setting up those things, because let's say there is a framework called Nuxt.js. I have used that to integrate with the Vue. It's a Nuxt.js. Okay, so in the Nuxt.js, there is one configuration file called nux.config or something, as I remember. So inside that one file, everything is there. Okay, everything is there. You can import libraries, you can define which auth providers you are using, how to connect with them, how OpenID control working, and like that. Everything is there. That is the importance of frameworks. But with the library, we cannot have that approach, because there are no limitations. So if you want to do something, you should better to build from the scratch if there are no available resources such as libraries. Okay. MERN. This is the thing that I'm going to discuss. This main point that you have asked me to do. Okay, let's see about that. Give me a 1 second. We have 4. Okay. If you have any question up to now, please ask me. Do you have any question? You can unmute yourself and you can use chat as well. If you have any question, please ask me. And don't think I'm expertise in these areas, right? I'm just knowing these things by Googling. Simply, I saw a meme that do not ask question that you can find by Googling. It's not relevant to this. If you have any question, please ask. No questions? Okay, good. Let me have 1 minute, please, to arrange my second screen. Great. Okay, are we good to go? I need a green flag from anyone with me. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you with me? You can hear me, right?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. You can move on.
Okay, great. If you didn't got a response from me, please check whether I'm online or not. Okay.
Yes, sure, sir.
We have a special situation here now because actually I got ready to that as well because I do never rely on my electricity board like these sessions. Great. Okay. You can move on. Great. Thanks. Thank you. Dishan. MERN stack. Okay, MERN stack. This is about the MERN that you have asked. So MERN stands for MongoDB, Express, React, Node. After that, 4 key technologies that make up the stack. Okay. So MongoDB is for document database. Express is for is Node.js framework. Let me have 1 minute. I think my network connection is unstable. Okay, great. React.js is a client-side JavaScript library, and Node.js is the premier JavaScript web server. This is how MERN born, don't have born. So MERN is born. So MERN is a 3-tier architecture. I believe you already know about what 3-tier architecture is. It's a combination of 3 layers. The top layer is presentation, application, and data layer. I believe it's in your curriculum and whatever. So in here, they have called that web layer, server layer, and database layer. Okay, Express and Node make up the middle tier, which means application tier. So you can see them here. And Express is a server-side web framework. And Node.js is a JS server platform. And React make up the upper presentation tier. And MongoDB make up the bottom or data tier. Okay, combination of these 3 technologies, sorry, these 4 technologies, we call it MERN stack. Let's see what React is. React is a presentation tier. React used to create dynamic client-side application in HTML. It's finally generated HTML code. You can inspect them once they are running in the browser. You can see the HTML text. React lets you build up complex interface to simple component, connect them to the server, and render them as HTML. So React is handling stateful data-driven interfaces with the minimal code. So you already know about that. Great support for data handling, error handling, and many more. Since it's a library, so you can build from the scratch as well. And if not, you can add the required dependencies there. Okay. So Node and Express. Node.js is a JavaScript server. Express is a server-side framework and it's running inside Node.js server. Express has powerful model for URL routing. URL routing means once you are, it's handling the routing part. So I'll explain during the demonstration. Express can handle HTTP requests and responses, okay, with the help of Axios. Connected the front end through HTTP requests. Okay, that's about it. So this is the Mongodb data type. Mongodb used to use as a database to store data, and React frontend can be send JSON data to Express, and it means once you submit the form with a load of data, you can pack it as a JSON, and then you can send them to the Express as a JSON. Then from the Express, you can store them in JSON format in the MongoDB. That's what it's saying. Not a relational database, and it's a NoSQL database program. Okay. So here you can see what are the alternatives that using MongoDB that related the RDBMS. Database is same. Two databases. There are databases, and in RDBMS you can see tables. In here you can see collections, and here you can see indexes and indexes in the MongoDB as well. And here you are saying rows inside the tables, so you mention them as a document in MongoDB, column and field. Not much thing. Advantages of MERN: it's a completely JavaScript. No need for context switching because since it's using JavaScript, no need to migrate here and there, because let's assume if we are creating an application with React frontend and Spring Boot backend, so you have to switch between those contexts, right? So no need to do that in MERN. Support MVC, model view control architecture. Basically, it provides its own view using React and handling the control part using Axios and the path as well. What technologies are free and open source? You already know about that. Okay, let's go to the demonstration. Okay, let me have 1 minute to prepare to the demonstration. So if you have any question, please ask now. Okay, you are allowed to ask any question. Okay, are we good to go?
I think yes, we can.
Okay, thanks. Thank you very much. Yes, actually, I'm doing a simple demonstration. Most of our pre-coded components, and I'm not going to explain each and every code part, just covering the basic things, because as I said before, there are so many tutorials, so you can just follow them. You please try to get just the basics, okay? Just the important points from the demonstration. Do not rely on this demonstration because your approach may different. So this is the common demonstration that using once explained in the MERN stack. So I'm doing the same thing here. And once I'm doing that, I'll explain the code during the demonstration. Okay, let me share the screen. Okay, great. You can see the screen. Huh?
Yeah, yes, sir, we can see.
Great. So I'm using the VS Code. As I said, VS Code is providing great support with the JavaScript. So because of that, I'm using the same as well. The first part I'm going to do is creating a React project. Okay, our front end. We are going to create a React project. I'm inside the folder MERN stack. Okay, this is I'm printing the fast working directory. I'm inside the MERN stack folder. Here I'm going to initialize a React project. X create React app. I call it client. Okay. I'm going to create a project, React project named client. And no need to memorize those syntax, sorry, those commands, right? You can simply Google what is the command for creating the React application. That's it. No need to memorize those things. So by experience, you definitely will be memorize those, but do not worry about those things. Okay, it's creating. It will take some time. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Still creating. Okay. So I guess some of you are doing this, right? Some of you are using MERN stack or mean stack or with the view MERN stack with your project, right? Great. Okay, now I have a React project. Here you can see the node modules public. Then I'm going to create a folder. Yeah, let's see. Okay, still in the MERN stack folder. So now I'm going to create a folder called server for running my Node.js application. This is for my backend application, which means Node and Express. Okay, let's go inside the folder. Great, it's an empty folder. So I'm going to initiate, actually I'm going to create the JSON and initialize the package.json file inside that folder. So I'm using the command npm init command, npm init -y. Instead of -y, you can use yes actually. Okay. Okay, this is the package.json file. We have the package.json file. So now we have some dependencies to install. So we have some dependencies. So let me write the command here. Mongodb express course. I'll explain them. Course.env. These are the dependencies that I am going to have with my backend application, which means the applications. The MongoDB is for communicate with the Mongo. Okay, communicate with the MongoDB. Express app should communicate with the Mongo. No, so you should have MongoDB dependency, and Express, you already know we are using Express, so we take it as, we get it as a dependency here. Then I'm going to get the course dependency. It means a Node.js package that allows cross-origin resource sharing, right? Some of you may not familiar with this course related things, because sometimes our front end do not allow to communicate with our backend. It gives some course issues, course errors. So throughout installing the dependency called course, you can handle them. Okay, and .env is for maintaining the environment variable. It is very important to maintain the environment variable, since it's definitely a good practice as well. So because as an standard, we do not keep rapidly changing things, rapidly changing variables, so rapidly changing data by hard coding, because there can be some various environments like local. Actually, we also have different environments like local, and we are use one environment to development, dev environment, and test environment, release environment, like that. So there are so many environments, and if we are going, if we hard coded those some URLs, it can be URLs, it can be client ID, so that vary from environment to environment. We have to change the code rapidly. So by using environment variables file, so we can just add them as that in a suitable way. Okay, so we should import that dependency as well, .env, so it allows us to create .env files inside our project. So this is the main intention. Okay, this also will take some time. No, it's already done. So package.json file also updated. So here you can see the dependencies that I've installed: course, .env, Express, MongoDB. Here you can see the version. Okay, the next part is we are going to create the file called server.js. So we are officially going to initiate the backend server inside the server folder. Okay, let me create the file inside the server folder. Server.js. Okay, here I'm adding the content that I already prepared. So I'll explain the code. So I'm doing this for reducing my time. It's almost 6:14. So here we are importing the Express by require them, and we use app. We are defining it as app, and we are using app because we are dealing with the Express, right? In here you can see the course we have defined like this. It's importing like this and defined like this, and it runs on port 5000. And here you can see I'm going to import the port as environment variable, as I said before. So once I create in the .env file, it's basically getting this, or it's using the default port as 5000. Okay, so great. Then now we are going to move to the MongoDB parts. So you should have a MongoDB account. Here is mine. So once you registered as new user to the MongoDB, so we are basically using Atlas, MongoDB Atlas, because it's a cloud-based database, and you are asking to create a cluster here, and you can create a free cluster And as your there is one free cluster, you can use it for your own testing or something. So you do not need to pay to that. And if you are, this is my default cluster actually, it's a free cluster. If you want to create more clusters, so click that button and it takes us through the process. So no need to, here you can select the server. That it would be better if you are selecting the near server to us. Okay, no need to worry about that much. And it will cost $0.54 per hour. Okay, but you are allowed to create the free cluster. As I said, this is my cluster. And also you should enable the network access from here. This is very easy process. So you can even see this process in the MongoDB website as well. So here you should add your IP. So I have added one already. So there is add an IP address and use the default one. So there is option called use current IP address, and you can use that as well. By doing that, you can configure the IP address here. And then you should create a database user. Okay, database access. So you should create a user, and here you have three options: certificate, AWS IAM, identity and access management, and password. We just for that we just create the password, user with the password, and please enter username and also the password. Yeah, I create a user called MERN. It's a simple password. Okay, so by this way you can add the user as well. So then I'm going to connect this database. We almost done with the database part. It's really simple. See, no need to worry about many things. So just you have that cluster, default cluster, your free cluster, and you can click that connect button. There are three options. We are going to connect this database with our application, right? This is our application. So it provides this code part. Okay, in here you can see the password. Password means your user's password. Okay, your username is MERN. You should then replace your actual password with this text. So let's do that in our application. So you almost complete with MongoDB part. See, very straightforward thing. No need to worry about that much. Okay, let's go to the code. Now I'm going to have a configuration file. So inside the server, I'm going to add the file called config.env file. Okay, so that's why I installed the dependency called .env, right? It allows us to create this kind of files with the .env extension. Please use the same name, config.env, and we can. So now we are going to give the URL that we are getting from here as an environment variable. So I'm going to define an environment variable called at. You can use any name you want. Plus URI. Okay, great. Here you should replace your password. As I remember, this MongoDB. Let's see. Okay, now we are done with the environment variable part, and also there is another one environment variable called port. We can define it that as well. Port equal to 5000, right? Default port. Okay, let's save that. Great. Now we are going to create. Now we are going to use the MongoDB inside my folder. So I'm going to create new folder here called DB. And inside the DB, I'm going to create the connection.js file. I'm going to establish the connection. It should not be the connection.js. You can use any name, whatever you like. So it's connection.js, name. And I'm going to integrate the MongoDB with my application, with my server. There is no need to worry about the front end and Node.js, sorry, front end and MongoDB related stuffs, because we are not doing that. We basically not connecting directly front end to the databases. Okay. So here you can see we are importing the URI that we have already defined in the configuration file, and we use it as a we are creating object using MongoDB client. Is all coming from with the MongoDB extensions. So if it successfully running, successfully connected to the server, this message will show. Okay. Okay, that's it. Now we are going to configure the routes. And as I said before, Express is allow us to manage routes as well. And here I'm going to create another folder called routes. If you do not understand these things, do not worry about at all, right? These are simple techie stuffs. I don't need to worry about them. And in here, I'm going to create a record file, record.js for handling the routes. Okay, let's see, add record.js. I'm just explaining the flow. Okay, now do not you easily can find everything in here. So with this file, I'm trying to implement the controller part. Okay, so here you can define all the what it called, all the routes. So from the front end, you are calling the backend URL as well as, so you are hitting the HTTP request with some specific endpoint. So these are the specific endpoint names. So your API URL / record. This is how you are going to fetch the records. Okay. And in here, we are going to return results as JSON. And during that process, it getting the data from the MongoDB as per the request, and it handling those things. And now we are going to run the server. So there is one specific point that I need to highlight. We can install globally. I installed the NodeMan. Okay, NodeMan is allow us to not to restart the server every time. If you if you are doing some changes inside the server folder, you can, it's automatically applied and running automatically. That's it. Okay, I'm going to install NodeMan. Okay, it's done. Now I'm going to run my server. See, I'm in okay, I'm in server folder now. So NodeMan. There is a mistake. There is a misspell. And let's see. Okay, whatever, I have installed it before. No worries. Okay, server is running on port 5000. Okay, now let's focus on our front end part. Yeah, service running on port 5000. Let's see. And I'm going to add another terminal. And let's go to our React project file. Dot place cd stack cd client. Okay, let's install Bootstrap for creating the UI very easily. Install Bootstrap. Okay, it will take some time. Okay, okay. And now I'm going to install the React Router DOM dependency. Okay, all right, that's great. Now I'm going to create my own application here. So I'll replace the existing code part, right? Okay. So now I'm going to set up the index file. This is the entry point to the application. Okay. So here you can see I'm importing the app. App means app.js. So we are rendering all the components into app.js, and in the index.js file we are importing this app. And also it's surrounded by browser router, because using browser router you are allowed to have some changes in not reloading the page. Just you can change the content by using state management, not reloading the whole page. Okay, so then we are going to create our components. Okay, so in here I'm going to create another folder called components. Okay, we have component folder. Okay, I'm tagging it to inside the source. I should create inside the source, because all the source codes should consist of this folder. So first of all, I'm going to create a page called no. Before that, I'm going to install another dependency called Axios. Okay, npm install Axios, because Axios is handling the connection between the front end and back end. Okay, great. So I'm just creating the application with CRUD operations. There are create, update, delete, and modify. This is create, get, view, create, update, and delete. So first thing, I'm completely copying these things into component folder file. Create dot JS. This is the component, so no need to worry about that. Here, one thing I should mention, this Axios part. Here you can see I'm calling the specific URL that I'm defined inside my backend in the record file, right? There should be a here you can see the controller. Okay, from the front end you are calling to that controller by using the URL. That's why by using Axios you can call to that specific URL. So this is the importance of Axios. Okay, great. So let's create edit file. So I'll show the final view here after adding this component. Yes, so I'm completely copy and pasting those things, and there is not much things, so it's just rendering the HTML, rendering the component in here, and using by submitting the form you are calling Axios endpoints. Okay, and in our controllers, and also we have record list.js as well. The file record list.js. Okay. I'm going to paste it here. This is also the same thing, and in this component we are going to fetch the record like this. So there is a specific endpoint called record, and here you can see it connect to the database, and also it get all the records from the database and send it to the front end as JSON object. There is another component called navbar. Navbar is for the navigation bar. Navbar.js. Okay. So now all the components we have. So you can see create edit, navigation bar is a separate component, and record list getting the part. Now we are going to set up the app.js here. So we should include all the components that I created inside the component folder, and those should import to the app.js file inside source app.js. Okay. Here you can see I am importing the navbar. I'm importing the record list inside the route. This is how we are defining the route. Once we are go to the base URL, so it's just saying the record list component. It's general behavior of the React application. And then you can see, let's start start. This is the application that I created, CRUD application. You can enter the name what I want and create it. So let's see. Okay, I think there is an issue with the database connectivity, and sometimes it could be better to reinitiate the port, the IP address that we have entered in here in the network access, but no need to worry about them. This is see. Yeah, there is a problem with the database. Okay, no need to worry about that. So this is it. So you can see the front end, and also because I'm stopping this because I'm running out the time. It's almost past 7. So, and one last thing, the demo is actually over. Okay, there was a small problem with the code. I think it's related to the MongoDB IP that I have already entered, but I'm not taking much time to figure out that issue. Okay, the demo is over, and before wrapping up, I have to show a video to you. This important thing. If you are claiming your app is secure, please watch that video. Okay, this is related to the social engineering. You may know what social engineering is, right? There is one question. I answer that after that video. You can hear the sound, right?
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Okay, great.
Invited Chris to hack me with his team, but they're going to hack me using social engineering, which is essentially hacking without any code. They just use a phone and an internet connection.
We help people with human security issues by testing vulnerabilities for like a network test, but it's for the people network. We test those vulnerabilities, see where the holes are, and then help people learn so they can patch them.
Can we try some of this? Can we try some?
Yeah,
see if it works?
Yeah, we probably could have our star visher here make some phone calls as your
Let's do
girlfriend.
it.
Sure. Do you want to do a sample phishing call?
What's phishing?
Phishing is voice solicitation, and basically what you do is you use the phone to extract information or data points that can be used in a later attack.
Let's do it. Who are you going to call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider
Okay.
and see if I can get them to give me your email address.
I bet they're good. I bet they have my back. But yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna spoof from your number, so it's gonna look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. my husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan and we just had a baby and he's like, get this done by today. So I'm so sorry. I can't call you back. I'm trying to log into our account for uses information and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. The baby's crying and can you help me? Awesome.
In just 30 seconds,
gmail.com?
Jessica gets my personal email address.
Now, if I needed to add our older daughter on our account so she could call in and make changes, how would I need to go about doing that? You would have to send me a secure PIN through a text message? Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to receive a text message if I'm on the phone. Shh. Oh, I'm not on there either? So I thought when we got married, he added me to the account. Okay, my
Jessica
name
uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
is 5127.
to set up her own personal access to my account.
Wait, I'm sorry, so there's no password on my account right now? Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my
Thank you
password.
so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this. All right, thank you.
Holy shit. So they just gave you access to my entire cell phone account.
You're gonna have to go on and change your password now because it's Jess, my name.
And all it took was a crying baby and a phone call.
Yes.
I really thought that my cell phone company would protect me. I mean, like.
So how about that? So if you are confident about your system is secure, so there are a lot of things to do. Okay, lot of things to be considered. Okay, that's from my side. One last thing. Now I'm going to give you the bonus point as I promised before. My laptop is also run out with battery, but I have another laptop connected. So how about my prediction capacity? So I connected with 2 laptops in case of power failure. So I got ready to that as well from the beginning. It's all problems were solved with that. Okay, this is the tip. It's a simple tip. This is the bonus. So just few words. I'm going to spell this. If you expect something that you have never achieved before, ready to do something that you have never done. Okay, do not waste your time with keep trying same thing. Add some value to that. Think differently. Change your what it's called, change your perspective and change your vision. Okay, so by doing new things, so try to achieve these. Okay, this would be help. Actually, this used to help to me all these times, and still currently also I'm using this, and it's really well. Okay, it's really well. Really I can bet that if you follow this, you will be achieve greatness than success. Okay, there is a huge difference between success and greatness. Okay, if you want to achieve greatness, so think differently, react differently, act differently. So you should have your own perspectives and you should have your own attitudes to achieve something then. Okay, so this is the end of my session. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, I saw there is one question, I'll answer that. So this is the way to connect with me. So I'm on Facebook, and here is the email address, and also you can connect with me via LinkedIn as well, and join with my tech community. We are sharing the tech news, tech events as well. It's Sri Lanka Tech Seekers Sri Lankan community, and it's a Facebook group. You can send the request, and if you have anything special, you also able to share with that as well, other community members. Okay, that's it from my side. Let me read the question. When we are deep into the group project concept, how can we manage that Atlas URL thing? Because each member is going to use a different Mongodb account. Okay. It's simply like this. Okay. So most of the time, we are connecting to the database as a club via the public line. Okay. Not in that approach. You should have a different approach to that. Okay, so this is not the only way to connect with the Mongodb, so there are so many other things as well. But once it integrate database to the application, so we are continuously we are not going to go through the Mongodb login, no, right? I think you can understand my point. So we just implement one connection between backend and the database. So you just need one user for that. User is not mean me. It's not the user Buddhika. Okay, it's the user for your application, right? So you can enter the password. Likewise, you are using one URL for connecting the Atlas URL. No need to log into separately, because there is one backend and one database to connect. Okay, so this is the answer for that. Yeah, that's it from my side. So I wish you best of luck to you all. I believe I did what I expected, and please leave comments about the session. I love to hear them. And yeah, thank you very much. And sorry for all the troubles that related to the electricity. I think I could manage all the things at the certain level. Okay. The only thing is I'm not able to show myself, and I can turn on the camera, but I look like a ghost with the screen light. Okay. Thank you very much. So over to you, Pramodi.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Buddhika. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box, as well as you can unmute your mic and ask now.
Okay, let's go to the question. If we consider the testing after the development, okay, what tricks can we use for this MERN stack, and what are the tech stacks available for the testing part? Because we still have no idea about testing after the development. Okay, so there are so many approaches to testing during the deployment. I do not recommend testing after the deployment, but during the deployment process you can test them. So there is a approach called CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery. So you can create CI/CD pipeline. So there are specified testing that attached to the process, and you easily if you are know about Nginx, so there are different approaches as well, and there are blue-green testing and like that. There are so many testing approaches in there, and before that, it's great to identify all the issues before going to the production. Definitely, you should do it, because in the product testing in the production is like a suicide, right? Okay, don't wait until go to the production to test your application. So from the beginning you have a lot of approaches. Okay, there are a lot of approaches from the beginning, because there are a test automation as well. It's a trending thing now. So you can write your own unit testings as well. In Spring Boot I have experience, but in Node.js I do not have much experience for the unit testing. But unit testing is important thing you should definitely follow. And if you are willing to do the test automation, you can use Appium and Selenium like that things. And also there are specified libraries. There can be specified libraries to React as well. Please search them. I do not remember the exact one for now. And as a developer, you definitely should be aware about the developer testing. Okay, so once you are developing rapidly, you should test your code and the functionalities. Then it would reduce the fight between you and the quality assurance engineer. Okay, so yeah, that's the answer for that. It's the answer for that question asked by the Vibhushan. And there is another question from Ajant. Is it suitable for use another database like Firebase or AWS? No worries at all. You can use any database with that. Since this is MERN stack, means it combining some databases. So it's combining some related technologies that can be really optimized. But if you are willing to integrate the relational database, MongoDB is not suitable. It's not a relational database. So then you have to move to the MySQL or something. Okay, it's no problem. Do not stick with the MERN stack actually. So there are so many approaches. Simply you can have you are having the idea that related to your scope and your domain, and you should find the technologies that related to your domain. So if there is a MERN, if it is a MERN stack, if it is a main stack, if it is a name stack, no need to worry about them. You can do whatever you want. You can do what the best you're feeling. Okay, it's do not stick with this. Please do not stick with this, because technologies are rapidly changing. MERN stack is defining that by considering some aspects that combine those 4 technologies together, and it provides as a MERN stack. That's it. Do not have something than that. Okay. Yes, I believe I answered your question. If there are any clarifications, please ask. No worries. Okay, one question is coming. Is it okay to go with the component file using JSX than JS. It's also according to your perspective, Vitushan. Because it's a recommended way to use JS or JSX related to your opinion, okay? And no need to worry about that because there are some syntax changes, and most of the time JSX is the trending one, and inside the JS folders also we are approaching JSX related stuff, right? And no need to worry about that. If you want to use JSX, no worries, you can use it. Okay, you are welcome. And is there any questions, clarifications, comments? And sadly, I didn't hear any any of your voice today, other than the host and the EXCO members. So what about second? Yes. So did you understand or completely lost that? Okay, Chamodi, I believe it's...
Sir, sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think, sir, there's a critical situation in the climate. So I think that's the reason our participants keep silent.
Okay,
they want to put the questions on chat, I think so.
Okay, no worries. I just asked.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So it was a very informative session. So now you can see there's a feedback form in the chat box. So please go through it and give your feedback for us, because it will be helpful for our future events. And now we are coming to the end of the session. So in this time, I cordially invite Ms. Ayami Dashika to deliver the vote of thanks.
It was a very interactive and informative session. We got to know about MERN and useful tips to success of projects. I hope others feel the same. So, Mr. Buddhika Priyabhashana, please accept our virtual token of appreciation.
Thank you very much. It means a lot. Actually, it's a great pleasure to me as well. So spending a few hours with you. And actually, there are a lot of things to do by yourself than that. Okay. So you should explore knowledge. Sorry for taking extra minutes. Is it okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Now I would like to take this time to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the Computer Society University of Jaffna. First, I would like to thank our speaker, Mr. Buddhika Priyabhashana. Thank you very much for your time and for delivering such a great session. And also thankful to our head of the department, as well as the patron of our Computer Society, Mr. Sudhakar, and our senior treasurer, Dr. Ramana, for permitting us to have this session and for guiding us through to the end of this successful event. This is the first session done by our new committee, and so I thank everyone who helped make this event a success. Last but not least, the most valued guests and the students, I sincerely thank you all for your kind presence in this webinar. See you soon in another session. Stay safe and have a nice day.
Thank you, Ms. Ayami. So this is the end of the first Tech Talk. So hope to see you soon in another interesting session. Bye for now.